Hey guys, Jason with CV Customs. So we are back on the 56 International, the Hallmark truck build. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Sorry it's taken a while. This is kind of one of those steps in the process where everything kind of takes a little bit longer. But what we're going to do today is we're going to get the engine out. We already decided on the engine platform because everybody voted and everything, and we decided on the Mercedes 5-cylinder with a T5. So today we're going to get the engine out, and we're going to start right here in the cab. Pretty much, it's not really a doghouse, but there's the kick panel and then basically a tranny cover. I'm hoping that by taking those two out, we can get the engine and transmission out in one piece with the front clip off. So that's today's project, and let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat, let me show you what I'm getting into here. Well, this is the tranny cover I told you we're going to get off. Looks like a lot of the bolts are already missing. That's cool. Where we do have our cancer, remember, we might have another plate that'll fix that, so that's fine. But where we do have the cancer, those bolts might just break right out for us. And then take this kick panel off. It goes all the way around. You can see the line right there on that side. We're going to get all that off and see if this engine comes out. So let me get some tools and we'll go to town. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to do before I start taking this off is remove the shifting tower. On these old transmissions, it just screws off. So we'll do this. Now, once we get it off, there's a pin. Sometimes they have two, so you want to make sure you don't lose that. Okay. Yeah, so this one only had the one pin. See, push right here, and I can pull it out. Don't lose that. That's what guides your shifter. So now with that out of the way, I'm going to put a rag in here. We should be able to get this off. So let me get a rag. Hey, I was just taking a better look at these screws. This is like almost completely gone, but I went ahead and grabbed the screwdriver. We're going to see if it actually comes off. Wow. Okay, let's see if we can get them. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I did not expect that to come out. So, and when I go back together with it, I always replace all the hardware with stainless because it's the nature of being in the floorboard. There's gonna be spills. There's gonna be different things like that. I genuinely cannot believe those came out. That's looking pretty easy. This one, it's actually gone here. So we really just have these two to worry about. We can jump around to the other side of the truck. Okay. Let's see what happens. We'll come back to that one. So what I'm trying to do is make sure I get a good bite on it. You see right now I'm just going to slip out. We get a hammer and do a little tapping and we'll see if we can get it out. Alright guys, so all I'm really going to do is just kind of clear out the screw hole here. There. Wow. Okay, so now that's going to need some work. You see that come up? All that's holding it is this screw. So let's see if we get lucky. Nope. Okay, that one's going to need the torch. And you know, I don't like making you guys watch me work too long. I don't like to waste your time, so I'm going to end up cutting that dude. These are bolts, so they're pretty much just going to come out. But I'll catch up on it when I get this dude out. Okay guys, I'm going to try one more trick before I start cutting it. What I'm going to do is heat the head of that bolt and see if I can get it to turn out without cutting it off. Okay, you guys saw it was glowing, so we're going to take a shot. Obviously, do not touch it at this point. Okay, that worked. I'm going to let it cool off, and then we'll open it up, see how the tranny looks. Alright. Still might be hot, so... Alright guys, is that in the video? Okay, this piece of it is pretty worn out, and I do want to reuse the handbrake, which is also broken, so we're gonna have to fix that. And I like these old shifters. We paint them up a nice gloss black. It's gonna look really neat in the truck. This is for the 4-wheel drive, so one engages the front axle and the other is a high-low. So yeah, let's take a look at what it's going to take to get this stuff off, because this all has to be off for the transmission to slide out. So we'll get this guy out of our way. We'll take a look at the tranny. All right, getting down in here. First, well, we can start with the e-brake. You can see it's pretty simple. It's bolted onto the transmission here. So we're just going to, well, now you're looking at the 4-wheel drive linkage. So we're just going to disconnect it from the tranny. Disconnect that from the tranny. I think there's another bolt right in there. And then you see down here, there's just cotter pins holding on the linkage. And another cotter pin right there holding that linkage on. So we'll separate that so it can drop. We'll pull these arms out of the way and go from there. So that actually came off really easy, but I wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see how uneven these cuts are. What I'm thinking happened is at some point somebody added in dual shifters instead of a single because of the extra cutout we saw on that cover. And the spacers, like this one's got 2, this has only got 1. I think there was something a little different going on before, but you can also get a much better look at where the e-brake cable broke, or handbrake, emergency brake, whatever you want to call it, but how it broke. Again, I may have other parts from another truck to repair this, but if not, we can simply just fix it and then have a boot around it so you're never going to see any of the linkage. Put a longer bolt and clean it up. That may be what we do, but you can also see all we have to do right now, 2 more bolts. This will be clear, and we'll start getting the front clip off, or actually let's get this off first. So yeah, let's go from there. All right guys, before I start here, I think you can kind of see what I'm looking at. This cover for the pedals, the rubber's actually in good shape, so I'm going to try and save it so we take it off without tearing it, because I don't know if I'm going to find it or how to find it. So yeah, you can see it's made to come off that way. It's got the tapers. Obviously it wasn't set right, so worst case scenario, we can clean it up if I can't find the part. Right, you know, we're probably going to put carpet over everything anyways, but if we can make this thing seal up all nice, then we'll do it. Be carpet over it to cover it. So yeah, now it's just zapping those bolts out, so I'm going to do that real quick, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay guys, so I got it all out except for these 3. They're all stripped out, so I was going to show you real quick. I think this is the one I decided to use, but if you look at these sockets, this is it's a special extractor that kind of grabs it and bites it, so we're gonna give this a go. Just put it on like that, And as you turn, it locks in and takes a bite of it. Let me see if I can set the camera up so you can see it. Alright, I think you can see it there, so what I like to do is just tap it on a little bit. And then cross my fingers. Man, that's a long-winded son of a gun. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so you can see it works. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, guys, real quick, we got it out. But you can see a little better all the cancer damage over there. So again, we're going to see if another one will work. So let's get out and take a look at the front clip now. This is what we need to clear out here. All right, guys, we're out here. We're going to take the hood off. Now, remember, this hood opens both directions, so there's really no bolting. But I got an extra set of hands. I'm just going to get it out of the way. We'll take a look at what we got to do to take the front clip off. All right, guys, hood's off. I just need an extra set of hands for that, so I got that done. I'm going to kind of tell you a couple things I'm going to get done real quick. Number one, this thing had a PTO winch on it, and I'm not going to use that. So you can see where they welded on right there at the end of the frame. I'm just going to cut this guy off right there where it was. Also, there's this piece of channel iron they've got welded onto the side. I'm going to cut that off too. The other side's already broken off. That's probably what dented up this fender. For the purpose of what we're doing right now, I'm not worried about the dent. So here's the goal. When we paint this, we will separate the fenders and, you know, all the paint will go on that way. But while we're setting the engine, because we're going to do the engine swap, I'm going to keep the front clip as one piece. And we'll leave the cab where it belongs. So we're going to pull the clip out. We're going to get the engine and tranny out of our way. Then we can set that diesel in here, and I'll go over how we're going to mate that T5 to that diesel in another video, but we're going to set that T5 in here with the tranny on it and everything, and we'll leave the radiator attached to the front clip as well, so we can check our fan clearance and everything getting it set. So that's the goal. I'm going to go through getting all these bolts off. It's going to be the same method as what we did with the floor panel, so I'm not going to record all that, but same thing. I'm going to take my time. If I got to heat it a little bit, I will. Don't want to break anything. We will replace all the hardware, but it's so much better if it just comes out. So I'm also going to leave the inner fender wells on the front clip. So I'm going to get all that off up there, cut this, and then there's one or two mounts up front, and we'll leave it all intact. We are just going to cut all the wire out. None of the wires matter because this will get an entire new wiring kit. So let's get that going. Okay, so I've got it loose. I cut off what we talked about, and the front clip is just hanging on. But I'm waiting for my extra set of hands, so I figured I'd show you guys she's loose. And as soon as I get my other hands, we'll pull it off, and then we'll look at getting that engine out. So I guess I should have realized that the radiator wasn't on the front clip. I just assumed it was, my bad. So we're going to have to remove that radiator. Somebody added a battery box. We're obviously not going to keep that. We're going to get that cut out of the way, and we're going to get the engine out of the way. Radiator's pretty easy. It's just the two bolts. I would imagine there used to be some kind of a support. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Look at some of my other trucks. I got two more of these, so we can figure it out. It does look like we are going to have to modify the steering, which I thought about doing a crossover power steering anyway, so we'll get to that when it comes. Let's get the radiator, engine, we're going to have to drop the transmission first, then pull the engine, but we can start with getting the radiator out and see where we're at. Okay, guys, so got the radiator out, cut that battery box off, and they did a lot of welding. All that'll get cleaned up when we're actually working on the frame. So next step to get this engine out, I got to separate the transmission, and because this thing's a four-wheel drive, oh man, it's got that little drive line there. We're going to disconnect that, and then we'll separate the transmission right there from the bell housing and pull the transmission. Then we can just pull the engine. So let me get the tranny out and we'll go from there. All right, so transmission's out. We got 4 bolts left, and then plus the linkage for the pedals. So I'm going to get those separated. We're going to get this engine out. Okay, so the 2 bolts on the transmission, I was just going to zap them off, but they put this welded in piece here for the drive line, and you can't get on it, so I'm just going to cut the dang thing off. Okay, that's 2 more bolts and she's out. Okay guys, I got my assistant today. Let's go. Let's get it out. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on the tripod and help him out. It's just bound up. Might as well stop this. Yep. Alright guys, we had to fight it a little bit at the tranny. I can start pulling it a little bit here. Hang on. You got to pull the engine back as you go. You're getting caught underneath. Go down a little. Go down. You're caught under the cab. Right in there. Okay, there you go. Now back up. All right, go up. Whew, sorry guys. May need to get a film crew. Loose? Yeah. All right, get her up. All the way up. Okay, good. All right, guys, we are going to disconnect the choke cable because I see it's still connected, and then we'll pull the engine out. All right, guys, you see the engine swinging in the background. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe. Tomorrow's video, we're going to get the engine, the diesel and the 5-speed, mocked up to see how they fit and start getting the motor mounts right. Once that's right, we know the front clip's right, we'll move that stuff back and forth. We will take it down to frame and do the frame. Yeah. And then we can start getting the paint work done. A lot of work coming. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, keep following it. I appreciate all the views. So, see you guys in the next video.